Good morning everyone and welcome to today's episode. I'm being quiet because it's very early in the morning, well, about 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm still here at Campbelltown and today is the big day where we're going to be throwing off the lines and going around the Mull of Kintyre. As you can probably see, it looks like it's a pretty nice day. There's a little bit of breeze, obviously we want some wind. It's really sheltered here, so it's not really representative of what it's going to be like once we get out there, but yeah, nothing weather-wise to put a stop to this stupid idea, so I guess we're going to have to do it. Got to be honest, a bit nervous given events in the last week or so. Not 100% confident in the boat, but like I say, it's a nice day. Weather and tide's in my favour, so hopefully it'll be alright. But I'm going to get a few last bits sorted and then we got to get ourselves going. So, let's go.
I'll see you out there. Okay, so everything stowed away. Just motoring out of Campbelltown Lock at the moment because the wind is kind of head on, so I want to get out past the island and then we'll be turning south and hopefully we can just kill the engine, get the sails out and sail all the way to Gigha. Look at this beauty I got following me. Beautiful looking wooden, is this a ketch? Bearing down on me a bit though, I hope it doesn't crash into me. Well, we made it out of the Campbelltown Lock. Not much wind. I wasn't expecting tons, but I was expecting enough to sail. There's a line coming up ahead of me which looks like there might be some wind. Yeah, so right now I'm motoring, which is exactly where I didn't want to be. Plus, you know, if this goes on, well, it's either going to be a very exciting day if my engine doesn't play ball, or it's going to be an incredibly dull day because at this pace it's going to be about 11 hours or something like that. And it's pretty rolly. Just because I haven't got the sails up, so the boat's not stabilised. But yeah, hopefully, I don't think it'll be like this all day. We've got to get some wind at some point. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty beautiful. Ugh, nice and sunny. Just not great sailing. Well, we're still going. It's very rolly. It's annoying. We've got like very rolly sea, white tops on the waves, but well, not much wind. I got the head sail up, just to show willing, I guess. Yeah, a big one. But yeah, it's yeah, not the best at the moment, but we're making progress. So not really complain too much. We're not going great. We're going about 4, pushing up 4.5 at times when they get a bit of wind, but whoa, that's a big one. Well, we're on the south side of the Mull of Kintyre now. Just passing Sando on the port side. I was going to say the sea's calmed down a bit now. This is a big roller come through, but it makes sense because we're kind of getting in the lee of the Mull of Kintyre. 33 miles to go, so we've done about 13. We're in a bit of a flotilla. There's quite a few boats going around the Mull. We're at the back of the pack, I think. There's a couple far in the distance behind us, but yeah, I think there's a good half a dozen. A couple came out of Sander as we went past, as we're going into the perfect time for the tide now. About 3 or 4 out of Campbelltown in front of me, including we're keeping pace with. That was they were on the neighbouring pontoon. Yeah, swap phone numbers and everything just in case anyone had problems. I'm assuming they're still on motor. I have been gaining on them a little bit, but I assume that's because they're on motor as well as I am. But just with head sail out, getting up to 6 knots most of the time. Maintain that would be nice. We'll be there 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish as opposed to 6:30, which would be nice. So we're just rounding the point. A bit rolly here, but that's kind of to be expected through this bit of sea, I guess. Staying way off. There's a yacht ahead of me which is heading north. So I'm going to kind of try and get out to their line and trust that they know what they're doing better than I do. But yeah, so far so good. Engine's still behaving. Yeah, head sail's pulling us along. We're doing well. I mean, we're getting up to 8 knots at time, but we've got coming up to a couple of knots of tide behind us, so that makes sense. Yeah, so ETA currently saying 10 to 3. I'm not sure that'll last once we get around here and slow down a bit, but yeah, every mile we make now is a mile less to make later. Still going along nicely, coming up on about 10 nautical miles to Gigha, which you might be able to see in the distance. Depends how well the GoPro's working, I guess. I've still got the sails up, but there is very little wind at the moment. We're going real like gangbusters all the way up here. Hopefully it's got the tide right. We're doing 6.5, 7 for a lot of it. Down up to about 5.5 now. Engine again, touch wood, still going strong, hasn't missed a beat. Hit every piece of wood I can find. So yeah, I'm kind of loath to turn it off or mess with it. I haven't touched it literally since I left Campbelltown, and it's still sat on exactly the same revs, so I don't want to mess with it. If the wind was more consistent I would, but my sod's law, I know what's going to happen. If I turn the engine off, I'm just going to sit on my arse and go nowhere. So a couple of hours now, about a quarter of the distance left, so yeah. So far so good, and what a beautiful day. If we can continue on this and make it to Gigha, I imagine it's going to be an absolutely beautiful anchorage today, and I might even get a chance for a swim. Well, just behind me is the main anchorage for the Isle of Gigha, which means, assume I don't crash into one of the last couple of rocks between me and it, we've made it, which is quite the sense of relief. All year has been pretty much about this moment, getting around the Mull, you know, knowing I'll be on my own, getting to the beautiful white sands of Gigha, hopefully go for a swim. I think I'm I'm going to have a rest for half an hour, and then I might be tempted to go for a swim in the beautiful water. Does my family congratulate me for getting here? It's not been the trip round I'd hoped. I've had the motor running the whole time, which, to be honest, is probably not a bad thing for my sort of confidence in the motor. I say it's taken about 8 hours, and the motor, finds more wood, has literally run like a clock the whole way. No change in sound. I've been checking it, obviously, regularly. The rev counter has been locked where I left it when I left Campbelltown Lock 8 hours ago, and it's like it's stuck. It's not stuck. I did actually drop it off a bit ago just to see what the wind was doing. But yeah, I've had the sails out the whole way, which meant we've been on pretty good time. Guess we've averaged about 5.5 knots. I'll work it out when I get there, but yeah, that ain't too shabby. So just gotta find a mooring to grab. Apparently there's a few spare. I can see a few. Some of them don't have strops, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to get attached onto one. But oh, there's my radio. But yeah, so get tied up, and it'll be soon beer o'clock. Now that's fitted, no strop, so I've had to improvise, but I've got this pretty decent mooring line that I can use. So now I'm just waiting for the boat to settle so I can then go and stick it on the front. And it looks like my neighbours from last night have arrived exactly the same time. So I got myself tied up, but I suddenly realised maybe why everyone isn't at this end of the thing, so gonna get bashed around by the ferry a few times before it shuts down tonight, but it won't run all night, so it'll be all right. Remind me I'm on the water, right? But wish I could have done this hours ago, but well done, Mr. Penta. Despite how much you and I have not been getting on, what a fantastic job you've done today, and you have earned yourself a well-earned break. Yeah, gotta be honest, really happy with how the engine's done today. Been my big concern after the other day of not being able to get started mid passage. Oh, and here we go up and down. But yeah, it has run like clockwork. Let it cool down, give it some checks tomorrow, check on the oil and stuff, and mark the levels today beforehand, so get a sense if it's using any oil up. But yeah, made it to bloody Isle of Gigha solo. Fantastic, absolutely bloody fantastic. Oh, relief, absolute relief. Oh, so I've come over, I'm going to have a bit of a snorkel because it's a beautiful evening, and this has to be one of the most beautiful places for snorkeling in the UK, or certainly one that I've ever seen. Just messaged Joe and said closest thing to tropical waters in the UK. If there's anywhere better, I want to hear about it. But yeah, this place is absolutely amazing, other than the temperature obviously, hence the thick layers of rubber and latex. But yeah, just look at that. Look at the colour of that water. Anyway, enough stalling, and let's go in. Woo. It does feel like 30-degree water, but it looks like it. Well, I've got to say, snorkeling at Gigha certainly lived up to the expectations. The water here is beautiful and clear. I didn't really kind of go anywhere that exciting, just kind of along the beach, but you know, the combination of the white sand and the clear water just makes everything look just amazing. So I think I'm going to probably end up moving to another location and spending a night on anchor, but that'll be for the next episode. I've also, there's a pretty big storm coming in the next couple of days, so I'm going to have to find somewhere to shelter from that, but that'll all come up in the next episode. So I want to thank you all for joining me. This has been quite the achievement for me to go solo around the Mull, and to get here, say the last year or so, has all been about this kind of moment, and to be here is absolutely amazing. So yeah, next episode will hopefully be some more snorkeling in some beautiful locations here at Gigha, and also finding somewhere to hide / run from the incoming storm. So make sure to subscribe and like and all that, so you can follow along with the next steps in my adventure. But most of all, guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by, and hope very much you'll stop by for the next one.